This one, we're gonna double up a little bit. We have no bait out here. This is just something that we know to be a highway. The deer have water down that way. They have crop fields out this way. They have some grass and some, what's that called? CRP type stuff over here, these fields. So this is just a highway. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the pre-orbital. So this is as if they're rubbing their eyes up on this sucker. Pop, 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 pop. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Shield Outdoors. First off, let's start with our shout outs from previous videos. So shout out to Zeroed In with Zeke, and shout out to Brett Wickstrom. Thank you so much, guys, for commenting on previous videos. If you would like a mention on one of our videos, all you gotta do is comment below this video, and I will pull a couple people for a shout out on the next video. Of course, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. All right, let's get on to this video. For about the last 2 years, y'all know I've been really into mock scrapes, licking branches, hanging vines. Part of that is because of Texas Raised Hunting products. If you haven't seen my older videos where I kind of trashed some of the bigger companies because I wasn't getting any results with their products. When I found Texas Raised Hunting products, especially the Curiosity Scent and the Breeding Buck Pre-Orbital, it was like my whole idea of deer prep had changed. Everything changed. I was seeing results, and this video is gonna be a beautiful testimony to how well the Breeding Buck Pre-Orbital has been working for me. So the coolest thing about this whole video, what's really cool is not only did I film myself setting up this mock scrape and this licking branch, but I actually turned on the Spy Point solar cam before I was even finished with the mock scrape. I turned it on, locked it up, set it to go, so it took pictures of me setting up this scrape, setting up the licking branch, so there's no argument to when this occurred, the timeline, where it happened, and how good this stuff really is. Let's take a look at some of these pictures. Right off the bat, you see me setting up everything, setting up the scrape, setting up the licking branch. You see me grab the branch that I like the best, bend it over, break it. You see me pull out a bottle, and I start spraying the pre-orbital onto that branch, and then you see me kicking out the scrape with my boots on. I know some people will lose their minds when they see that. And then I just put a little bit of Texas Raised Hunting product on the ground. That same night, here comes a doe. Now, the doe, in the very first picture, the doe is on the scrape. She is on it. Now, remember, this is the same place where I posted a picture on my Instagram and Facebook of a beautiful, about 140-inch 10-point taking a pee right in the middle of the mock scrape that's right in front of the camera. Now, she hits the first scrape, the new one, comes over to the old scrape, kind of like looks around, paws around. Now, what's really sad is I didn't have this camera set on video. I should have had this set on video. That would have been beautiful to see exactly what these deer are doing every moment that they were there. But maybe that's something for another video. So you see this doe come around. She kind of like circles it, maybe trying to get downwind, and then she comes right in, nose up, right to that licking branch. And I mean, she is sniffing on it. She gets right underneath it. I don't know if she wasn't tall enough or what happened. Maybe the tree started to rise back up, but she gets right underneath it, takes a couple of whiffs. You see her kind of walk around, and then here comes our wide 9-pointer. Now, this buck is a really cool deer. He's been really reactive to a lot of our Texas Raised Hunting products. And then he comes in with a huge 6, I mean a monster 6-pointer. So they come in, they're both kind of nose up, they're sniffing around. Our wide 9 goes right to the new scrape. Starts sniffing around in that. While he's doing that, the 6-pointer is sniffing the tree, sniffing the air, kind of doing some laps. Then he comes over, takes a whiff on the scrape, and then they both go to the same side of the scrape that doe went to, and then kind of turn around. I'm wondering if they were trying to catch the wind as well. And then they come back to the scrape. Wide 9 kind of sniffs around. He puts his nose up in the air, but I don't think he can find it maybe. He kind of wanders off, and here comes the big 6 again, nose on the scrape, and then puts his nose right up to the licking branch, which is just beautiful. And then he goes over to the tree, he sniffs around the tree, and then he comes over to the old scrape, the original, and he looks around there. You see him licking his lips, which is good. That means he could have been sniffing the ground, just like a dog. A dog will lick his nose, and that's exactly what this deer is doing, is what I'm guessing. Goes back to the old scrape, gets that nose back up to that licking branch, and then decides, all right, it's time for me to take off. Here comes another doe. Now, mind you, watch where all these deer are walking. They're walking right through the scrape. This doe walks right through the new scrape, comes over to the old scrape, looks around. Now mind you, these deer aren't eating. They're not like browsing and stuff. They might be a little bit, but there's not a single picture of a deer eating in any of these pictures. They're all nose to the ground or nose to the air. So this doe kind of looks around, wanders around, and then she ultimately takes off. Here comes a different doe, and you can tell because the other one kind of had like a little tumor or growth. So then, next morning, we have two kind of young bucks come in, a small 6 and like a small 7. And the 7 is, or maybe he's an 8, he is nose to the ground on that scrape, hardcore. And then the little 6 comes in and he's like, man, what is this? So now he's nose up to the licking branch. And he's nose to the ground, nose back up, nose back down. The little 8-pointer or 7-pointer, he's just doing laps. He's checking everything out. He's like, what is all this? 6-pointer still is nose up to the branches. And then, man, they just back to the scrapes. Now they're back in the old scrape. And then, look at the face he gives us here. What is he doing? So they kind of make some laps. And then, I think that maybe this is just my interpretation. It looks like this little 6-pointer is trying to push the 7 or the 8 out of the scrape. You see him kind of like headbutt him. And you see the reaction of the other buck, and then he circles around and then he gets up on his hind legs. He's like, okay, I'm really gonna check out this licking branch now. And then they're both kind of like reared up on each other, like they're not aggressive, but they're trying to figure out like, hey, are you dominant or am I dominant? Who's in charge here? They're just a bachelor group. They do that kind of stuff. No big deal. But it shows that they're getting excited by those scents. And then you see several does, even young does, are coming right into the scrape, nose down on the scrape. They kind of wander around, and then we have a couple of big does, and then really it kind of dies out from there. One of the things that I have found out with my licking branches is you gotta refresh those, because what you are doing is you are leaving a message to those deer. Those deer are coming in, and they're like, okay, who is this? What do they want? What are they doing? And then they respond. And if you don't put out that fresh scent, they may not keep hitting that. Now, sometimes, like let's say you make a mock scrape, doe hits it, buck hits it, doe hits it, bucks hit it. It might go back and forth, but it's important to refresh in those things. The first 3 to 4 days after I put out Texas Raised Hunting products on a mock scrape or a licking branch is when I see a peak in activity. They're coming in and checking those fresh scents. Make sure you're communicating with your deer. If you have any comments or questions, make sure you drop a comment below, drop a like, make sure you're subscribed, send us a message if you would like any Texas Raised Hunting products. Shield 15 will get you 15% off. And that goes for Rackology and Rack Wreck-It as well. Make sure you are subscribed. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.